People don't buy products or services. What they're buying is trust, connection, and clarity. And branding gives your business a voice and a presence and a purpose that connects you with your ideal client and helps them remember you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to my show. I'm so excited to have you here. My name is Tiffany Alexander, and this is Unveiling Journeys. I have an amazing show for you today. Can I just tell you 1 second a little bit about me? I love people. I love getting to know people. I love sharing people with people, and I love being able to say, anytime I meet someone, like, "Hey, by the way, have you considered I need to know some of the people you know, or by the way, I love you so much. Can I meet more people just like you? Like, who are you sharing circles with?" And on top of that, I usually am bubbling over to say, like, I have people I need you to know. Can you come hang out in my networking rooms or whatever that looks like? So from there, that's how I meet my guests for the show. And I just can't wait to share the world, uh, their thing to the world. So with that, I'm excited to have an amazing guest for you today. Kim, welcome to the show. Thank you so much. And do me a favor, tell everybody a little bit about you and what you're up to right now.
Hey, Tiffany, so great to be here. Thanks for having me. So I'm Kim Speed, and I am what I call a brand builder. And that means that I help entrepreneurs turn their years of experience and expertise into a brand that consistently attracts clients for them without being completely overwhelmed. Helping them find clarity and get that confidence to show up.
Oh man, that's awesome. I have a real big passion for this because I didn't realize something someone told me was like, Tiff, did you understand that marketing isn't just like shouting to an auditorium full of people? It's like shouting to a moving parade, that you need to remain shouting, right? Like people, unless you tell them constantly who it is you are and what you're doing and what you have available, no one's going to know. No one's going to know. I'm a huge fan of anybody doing marketing or branding or any of that jazz because this is the so many seconds you get to make a difference with somebody, and then the trust is established and then they want to do business with you. And so you are making a massive impact with companies that you're working with, and you are going to continue to keep working with companies. And so we need to be loud and tell people kind of what it is that you're doing. This is phenomenal. Let's do this. I want to get into your story. Tell me, let's start from the beginning. Let's unveil everything. Like, where are you from? And what did you even want to be when you were growing up? What did you go to school for? Let's crack all the way back to the beginning of time.
All right, all right. So really funny. I am an entrepreneur now, but I never thought I was ever going to be an entrepreneur. I went to art school, much to the dismay of my mother, who said, "You have to go to business school." And she thought I'd never get a job, but I ended up getting my dream job. I worked in advertising. I was a creative director. I worked on global brands such as, Coca-Cola, Ford, TD Bank, Molson Coors. I had a lot of fun. And it was really a great time. I loved the people that I worked with. But in 2008 and 2009, there was this crazy time where it was a big recession, and we had some clients that were struggling, and they canceled their contracts. And so then we were struggling. So they had to do a major layoff. I happened to be one of the people that got laid off. And that wasn't, it was upsetting, but it wasn't the end of the world because I had, worked at different places before and gotten different jobs. That was fine. But the really interesting part was that when I was at home, I had two young daughters at home. And most of the time, my life as a working mom was, it was like rushing through life. It really was, and you don't even know it. You just are doing for especially for the 5 days a week. You're rushing out in the morning, you're yelling and screaming, "Do you have this? Get ready. Why aren't you wearing the right clothes? Have we had breakfast? Do you have your lunch?" And, and then at the end of the day, it would end similarly. I would be rushing home from work through the traffic, trying to pick people up from activities or get them to activities and get dinner on the table and do homework you know, so you just do it because that is what you've gotten used to and it's the norm and everybody's doing it. So you don't think anything much of it except that, yeah, it is exhausting. But now I had a chance to look at it without the craziness. And I was enjoying walking my kids to school and having their friends over after and making cookies and, just enjoying life with them. Whereas before, I was getting maybe 10 minutes a day of, good time. The rest of it was like, do your homework, do this, do that. Uh, so there was this new calm, and I call it a new joyfulness over our life. And it was so, so much better. And I also had a partner who traveled a lot for his business. He's an entrepreneur too, but he did a lot of travel. So there was always chaos in the house. Now there was not, and I could see the difference. And I was felt like it was a gift given to me. And I knew at that point that I no longer wanted to go back to the corporate grind,
Hmm.
not because I didn't enjoy it, but because I wanted to be with my kids and be more attentive and be part of their lives.
Yeah.
The lives I was missing for, so much. And so with that, my friend, I said, "Oh, I'm in business." And I hung up a shingle and said, "I'm in business." I didn't have any plan, which I do not recommend. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but I thought, you know what? I'm a marketer. I know what I'm doing. I can do this. And I'll have to say that for the first couple of years, it actually went really well because I had all of these people that I knew in the industry, people that, they'd all been cutting back as well. So they were looking for people to do those extra projects that they didn't have enough staff for. So I had plenty of work coming. It was the best 2 years because I had projects that I could work on from home, be with my kids, spend time with my kids when I wanted to, spend time on projects and work when I wanted to. I was getting regular income still. It was great. I loved it. And then a funny thing happened. After a couple of years, people start to change positions. They go to different places. New people come in. Relationships aren't the same because you haven't worked with all these people or you may not know them as well. And then the work wasn't as steady. And I was like, what the heck? What am I going to do? Because I hadn't spent any time on business development. I didn't have to. And really, what I'd done is created a job for myself, not a business, because I really didn't know what a business was.
Hmm.
Um, And then luckily, I was invited to a networking event for entrepreneurs, which I had no idea any of this existed. And I met a great group of people that helped me. I met a community of people that talked about their problems in business. I met mentors. I met my first business coach who really saved my bacon because if I hadn't had met him, then I would have been back at a job.
Wow.
So that's what I did, and then I eventually started to work with small business owners because I realized that they needed help and I had something to offer them, and that's how my business began to really blossom. That's when I had a business.
Right. Yeah, like that exact blueprint, right? To like
Yeah.
plug yourself into and know where to left and right and highs and lows and where to fix and all the above. And that's neat.
Yeah,
Uh,
Financials, like, I never had to work on financials. I never had to get business in.
Mm,
It was always it arrived and I did it.
right,
Like,
right.
it's great if you have a skill, but if you don't have the business sense.
Mm, man, that's interesting. Making it through some of those, like, highs and lows and that, what were some of the things that was like, "Well, I'm gonna keep moving forward." I know, like, you now you're working from home and having all the right people pour into you. Was there ever any, like, "I think I'm gonna go back?"
Sure, there was moments, especially when I didn't have it figured out and, you know, you start getting this income that's hills and valleys, and but my bills were like this. They're still coming in. Um, and I thought, I don't know whether this is for me or I can do this. So getting somebody that could help me with the financial um, outlook and figuring things out and really realizing that I needed to get out there. I needed to build my own brand. And um, I was the brand. And stop hiding behind a computer and get out there and start talking to people.
I think this is an incredible part of your story to understand there are perks that you didn't even know that were available to come and hang out with other entrepreneurs, and those are quite honestly most of the people that I find when I end up in the correct networking room versus I've been into some, like, BNI groups, and it's super tiny small business where, like, "I'll give you a nail guy for my real estate agent," right? And some of the
Yeah,
businesses are, like, kind of bigger than that. How do I look and see and rub shoulders with the right people who understand the highs and lows also?
yeah.
Um, that's a fun part of this, and, what I know we blazed through it so fast. Where and you operate and where are you from? We didn't even get to, like, that part. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm in Toronto. I'm in Canada. Born and raised here. Yeah, but I work with people globally. So that's why I don't always talk about my location because and it wasn't like that always, in the beginning when I was trailblazing as an entrepreneur, you had to pretend that you had a business, that you had, an office, that you had an office line. Like it was, you had to, like entrepreneurs like us, we had to put on this facade
Yeah.
and you would get n- y- a mailing address and, have all your mail sent there. Sometimes we would get answering services. Now it's so different. you know, People work from home all the time and nobody thinks anything of it. So it's really changed. But uh, Now, in about 2018, I started to do some courses and things and offer courses online and offer um, one-to-one services online. And this whole new world opened up, and that was also from coaching and, working with a business coach as well and getting that, realization that you can work online. And I was so lucky that I was, versed in working online before 2020. So I had a
Right.
couple years to figure it out, and so by the time that, we were all in that situation, I knew how to do it. And I was working with people in Singapore, like, even people that aren't even in our time zone, um, that we figured it out. I worked with people in New Zealand and Australia. It was wonderful. It brought this huge world together and made it small, and it was so great to meet people from all over. So this has been an amazing, amazing experience.
Man, I love that so much. Now, come like full circle, you're in your business now. This is what you do. You're the resident expert in everything. What does that look like when you have somebody saying these thoughts of like, "Oh my gosh, I think I need someone like you." What are your like your favorite people to work with and the things that you love providing for them as services?
So some of the people that I really love working with are people that were similar to me. They may have worked in corporate for a long time, but may well, and not in the same situation, but maybe they're thinking, you know what? I want to transition into something else. I want to work for myself. I don't want to take that next step up to, the C-suite or the next level of the C-suite. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of working for somebody else. I want something of my own. I want something that where I can use my knowledge, my skills, my passions and make an income that doesn't, take it's not like I want to be part of a startup that is going to be, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I want to work less and provide more value. So a lot of consultants and coaches, creatives, service-based business owners that they know what they want to do, and they've started and they're out there and they've got some traction, but they're struggling with that whole client thing, on the whole regular clientele. How do I get out there? How do I get people to know me? And what am I saying when I get out there? When when people talk about branding, they think that they're coming to me for a logo and a website and, their colors and fonts. And I've had to educate, especially small business owners, that that is what I call branding. But you have to build a brand first. And a brand is really, um, what is it that you do? Who do you help? What is your perspective and opinion? What do you stand for? Really, your brand is building your reputation. And you need to do that as soon as you start a business, because as soon as you hang out a shingle, you're actually building a brand. And if you don't pay attention to it, then really your competitors are going to do the branding for you. And that doesn't usually work in your favor. But you need people to start to, see you. They need to hear you. And if you start showing up and speaking to them about things that they're interested in, then they start to remember you. That's what you need to do in building a brand. Then, once you have that, then you can start doing the branding and the logos and the fonts. But you can actually have a business and start it without doing the branding first.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's Yeah, some of that stuff is like, well, sometimes it's the cart before the horse, but like it ends up working out. Like I've had this backwards moment where we built a brand and a logo and a website and all this stuff. And every time I show up, almost like I built a brand that wasn't really Tiffany, and the brand has become Tiffany for like, hey, I do this, this, and this. And I'm like, when I go to your website, it feels like some, cold finance lady, and it's not you. I'm like, oh man, I never considered that nowadays, like I run a small business, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that means so much to have somebody understand that vision to walk into it. It's like you almost need to hold a little, conference to say like, "You even think you wanna have a business? Meet with me first." We don't
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, like, there's this really interesting transition you go through from employee to entrepreneur, and especially in the beginning, you're so excited about it, and you want to do this, and you wanna do it well, and then there's, like, this smack in the face, like, "Oh, there's so much to think about." With me, it was all about, the finances and things like that, things that yeah, I don't even like to think about now, but I learned that, who do I go to? I need to get people that are experts at that so that I don't stress about it. And, that's why other people, they might know the financial end, but they don't know the marketing end or they don't understand that a brand is one of their best assets, especially as a small business. Oh my God. One of your best assets is your personal brand because as a small business, are looking, they're craving those relationships, human relationships. Why are we getting together and having networking conversations? Why are you're the connector, Tiffany. Why do you want to connect with people? Because we crave that. We crave um, social. And because we have less of it now, as a small business owner, it's one of your best assets to build that personal brand. And it doesn't have to be your full. like, you can still have a business brand, and you can be a major part of that.
Yeah.
Or you can just be the personal brand and that everybody gets to know, "Oh, you know, Tiffany, she's the fun person. She's the financial guru."
Let me ask you, Kim, it sounds like you're crushing it. You're doing great. Your business is like keep pressing forward, but why why do you keep showing up? Why do you keep trying so hard?
S Well, I like people too, and I like to see them become successful. It brings me so much joy when I see that they're getting it and that they're getting confident and they're out there saying who they are with clarity and not trying to be, all fancy and somebody that they're not. When they stop looking at, you know, all of the industry jargon and lingo that they hear everybody else using and start talking like themselves and then making those connections, I love that. I love seeing people have success.
Right. Man, that's so fun. I love this. Uh, Tell me, at this point, people are thinking, I want to hang out with you for a little bit. I want to follow the works that you're working on because it sounds like you've created some courses and more. Where's your favorite way that people can reach out to you and find you?
I hang out a lot on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn. You can go to my website. I have a website called Purple Moon Creative, um, and I have a Facebook group called the Employee to Entrepreneur Society, and I meet with people weekly there too, and you know they can talk amongst themselves too. So that's another great place.
I can't believe how much the time has gone by. I have a couple more questions for you. Um,
Yeah.
what what's on the horizon? What's coming up next?
Well, I'm really excited. I did um, a founding members pilot version of my brand clarity lab, which is a course that it's really exciting because I've done a course before on branding, but I always felt like there was only so much that I could do, um, because if people didn't have creative abilities and things like that, they would, get to a certain point and then they would leave and they'd have all this knowledge, but they wouldn't necessarily continue to use it. So I struggled with that. But now, Tiffany, I have figured out how to create um, AI models that I incorporate into my course that are helping people to go through each of the modules so that it's customized for them. It's also showing people how to do the creative and how you can come up with something right away that, suits you and to do um, brand photography of yourself. And
I love
I'm
this
able
so
to
much.
teach people all this. So I'm really excited about this new technology.
Right? It's like lean into it to make it an aid, not a replacement. Nobody's ever gonna
Yeah.
replace you and your business and your brand, but, like, to be able to aid you in this to one up the competition that's like, "Nope, no AI for me." It's like, "Come on." Let
Yeah.
it think a
No,
little
no.
bit
This
for you.
is this is like, training an AI model with all my information to be able to help you that you can then, I know people are getting the right information and they can use it over and over, like, and ask it questions. This is what was missing before. So
That's so fun, that's so fun. You've
yeah.
been so, cool to talk to about all this stuff, and I'm excited for all this future stuff and people oh my gosh, you made it this far, please go check out Kim's website and friend her on LinkedIn so we can all share the love with all of our connections, and let me ask you this to wrap up the show, what are your, like, golden nuggets or your words of wisdom that you wanna leave everybody with?
I would say people don't buy products or services. What they're buying is trust, connection, and clarity. And branding gives your business a voice and a presence and a purpose that connects you with your ideal client and helps them remember you.
Man, that is so good. That was so good. It's like you rehearsed that. No, I can tell you just came up with that, but it was amazing, obviously, and all those years in marketing and branding, you know how to kinda summarize all this as a firm thought for everyone.
It's actually that I got that, um, Seth Godin talks a lot about branding, so if you're also looking to learn about that, Seth Godin has got some great books on branding that I would recommend.
Nice, nice. This has been phenomenal. I am so grateful for you and for your time. I appreciate you coming on the show so that way I could share you with everybody. And thank you, everybody that stayed and hang out for the whole episode. I appreciate your guys' time to listen in. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. And that's kind of all for now. Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much.